G'day everybody, Greg Rust with you for another edition of Catching Up with the Kiwis for Motorsport New Zealand. Thank you very much for all your feedback in recent months. We have had some great guests along the way, everybody from Scott Dixon to Emma Gilmore. Today, we want to focus on the next generation, a bright young star on the New Zealand motorsport scene, and we are delighted to welcome James Penrose. How are you, mate?
Yeah, great, Rusty. How are you?
Fantastic. Firstly, motorsport is in the family. It is in the bloodlines, isn't it? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Dad's been into motorsport for a long time now, and I was very fortunate enough to for me and my brother to be run by Dad growing up all the way through go karts, and Matt now going off doing is winning his cross car hill climb championship, and and myself in Formula Ford now. So really come a long way since the early days.
I want to touch on your Formula Ford title in a moment, but first we'll just give Dad a little bit more of a pump up because the CV for him in terms of people he's looked after is actually pretty impressive, which is great for you boys. I mean, Callum Hedge included in there, Liam Lawson and others.
Yeah, no, he looked after Hunter McRae as well, and Taylor Cockerton. So before I was before I got in the car, he'd already had two or three national championships in Formula Ford under his belt. So really experienced engineer. So and again I can't thank him enough for everything he's given me.
Does it have a few testing moments? Because sometimes father and son, have pretty strong views on things. But I mean, he's a great inspiration, a great source for you to draw on, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. No, he's been fantastic all the way, all the way through go karts. He's very, and I kind of look to him for a lot of things. Very methodical, and the way he works through issues is really important into creating a winning championships, I should say. So it's and now moving forward, he's fortunate enough to be looking after another young up and coming driver in Formula Ford. So he's really very well sought after and can.
Now, as a young man, as you climb the ladder here, invariably it's a juggle from trying to find sponsorship and support financially and things like that to having just a normal daytime job, the kind of stuff that sets you up for professional racing life. As you talk to us, what are you doing? I think you're on a break, aren't you, at work? Is that right?
Yeah. No, the boss has been he's been nice enough to let me take my lunch break, an hour early. So I've been able to do this. But day to day, I'm a qualified mechanical engineer. So I studied at the University of Canterbury for 4 years before. Between go-karts and before getting back to motorsport. So day-to-day mechanical engineering is kind of in the blood.
That has a natural connection for the space that you play in, doesn't it? It lends itself to your racing.
Yeah, definitely. It goes a long way, and kind of understanding the as part of the vehicle dynamics, and I think the interest in mechanical engineering, it really works well between motorsport and my day-to-day job. There's a lot of similarities that I can draw on, which is very helpful in a professional life as well.
New Zealand Formula Ford champion. That sounds great, doesn't it, when it rolls off the tongue like that? It wasn't an easy title to win though, was it? It went right to the wire.
Yeah, definitely. Matt McCutcheon, he was a great competition the whole time. And an awesome guy to compete against. We raced wheel to wheel. The whole championship, nearly every race. So you can't say, and not once did we make contact. So it was great racing, and absolutely stoked that I came away with the win in the end.
There's some great names that have won that title. Very special to be among them.
Yeah, no, I saw that Shane Van Gisbergen was on there, as Fabian Coulthard and Scott Dixon, just to name a few. So the trophy is it's got so many such history behind it, and it's just an absolute privilege to have my name on there alongside them.
We'll talk academy in a moment, but I want to get a sense of where you might like to go from here. Are there immediate plans, short and maybe even longer term, and any tests on the horizon that you can tell us about?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so the goal for this season is to be racing in the Toyota Racing Series. So at the moment, it's we're putting a plan in place to secure funding. So it's that's a key thing for me going forward, is to be able to really draw on that funding and and really show what I've got. In the short term, I've got a test at Hampton Downs coming up as part of the national championship winner, and that's what we've got going on.
Well done. The Elite Academy, you won the 2021 camp. That's another very cool tick in the box away from the cockpit in many ways. What were the learnings out of that, and how surprised were you about perhaps the intensity in it, or the application required to do that?
Yeah, that was definitely an experience. It was 7 days. Often starting at 6 a.m. finishing at 9 p.m. It definitely wasn't a holiday. But there's so many different workshops and strength and conditioning sessions. Some of the major learnings were kind of around media skills. We looked into mental skills and sports psychology. Nutrition and sponsorship, and we just kept on going. We didn't focus on any driver specific stuff, but it was more every other asset, facet that revolves around being a successful racing driver in motorsport.
So how will it have changed you, do you think, as you get set for Toyota and the coming years?
Definitely, I guess it's a bit of a mindset shift. They definitely talk about, one thing that they kind of help with is understanding, where you need to be mentally preparing. It's not just on the day, it's, the week leading up to make sure that once you hit the track, all you have to do is focus on, the racing. And there's a lot of logistics and everything that go into a race day. So just making sure that, we're there and, we can be present on the day, to give it everything we've got.
Good on you. Put it into a sort of process sense, but be very much in the moment when the racing happens. Enjoy that. That's great. What about the dream for you, James? And what would you like to, fast forward 5 years from now? Hopefully COVID is under control. It's been annoying for all of us, I know. But what would you like to be doing, with all this armoury? Now that you've got the Formula Ford title, some other learnings from the Elite Academy, where's it headed for you?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to take my career as far as I can. I see myself in the in a supercar touring car. That would be a dream for me. It's just a lot more. There's so much opportunity in the saloon cars, all over the world. So for me, just taking it as far as I can, whether that be into supercars would be amazing. But obviously, big road to get there, and but I'm willing to put in the work to get there. So, that's where I'd like to be.
Good for you. Dedication is key, mate. Are there some heroes? I mean, you've talked about the influence that your dad has and continues to have on you, but what about some heroes? And maybe there's been a phone call or two from someone within the New Zealand motorsport community that's been good in a mentoring sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as far as mentors go and people to look to, you can't go past Ken Smith.
Yes.
He's he came out to nearly every Formula Ford meeting that we had for the national championship, and he's just got such a just a wealth of experience, and he always manages to say the right thing. When you're looking to it for advice. So Ken, for me, is one of the greats to look to.
Cool. We'll finish on a little bit of family rivalry. What's it like between you and Matt? Is it good natured, or do you wind each other up?
Yeah, well, we actually we live together, so we can't. That's pretty well. I've got to be I guess keep it under wraps a wee bit, but he's fantastic. He's done absolutely amazing in his own. As he's transitioned to rally. There is a bit of rivalry that comes along every now and again when we're getting on the simulator and having a crack. But he was a great mentor growing up as well. All the way through karts. So he's just a great brother, a great driver as well.
Good stuff. It's probably a cliche line, James, but enjoy the journey, mate. It seems like you are, and make the most of every step. And we wish you the very best on, in the next phase, the next chapters.
Nah, thank you very much, Rusty. Appreciate that, mate.
It's been great to chat with him. There he is, a young man with a very bright future. And those media skills, I think, from the Elite Academy have paid off, haven't they? James Penrose. Don't forget, of course, you can keep up to date with all the very latest news on what's happening in motorsport here in New Zealand on the Motorsport New Zealand social media channels and our website. And we will catch up with another Kiwi driver, another Kiwi racer real soon.